What's the most ducked up thing you woke up to? My toddler going, "Mommy, wake up. I don't feel good," and then barfing all over me in bed. I did that to my mom when I was about 5. "Mommy, I think I'm gonna blah all over her." My husband sleep fighting. I woke up to grunting and looked over to see the silhouette of someone throwing punches and my husband not in bed. The figure came towards me and I screamed while thinking, "There's an intruder. My husband is dead and I'm next." My scream woke him up. Turns out he was dreaming about a robber breaking in and he was trying to fight the guy off. Did he win? Asking the real questions here. I was about 4 or 5 years old and woke up hearing tiny mew, mew. I legit thought Pokemon was real and there was a Mew in my room. I opened my eyes so excited and I was covered in blood. My cat had given birth right on top of me. I immediately started crying and my mom rushed in. She said it was beautiful, but I was absolutely horrified. I thought these wet little alien creatures just killed my cat. My cat was fine. All of her kittens were healthy and adorable. But I will certainly never forget being birthed on. I'll get birthed on. Birth on them haters. Once when I slept late my dad blared Thin Lizzy on the speakers and my little brother slapped me awake. What Thin Lizzy song though? Obviously it was The Boys Are Back in Town. Featuring his dad and brother. Yeah, it was The Boys Are Back in Town. Parents fighting. I feel you. You kind of get used to it. That's the part that hurts. I went to bed with a massive huntsman spider on my wall. Was feeling lazy and I figured it'd just go do spider things somewhere. 10 minutes later curiosity got the better of me and I switched the bedside lamp back on. There it was on the sheets over my chest, right near my face. Yeah, no, who the duck sees a spider on the wall and casually thinks, "Nah, I don't really feel like it." Yeah, that's future me's problem. Future me, what the shit, past me? 10 seconds after waking up, as I sleepily and groggily walked into the kitchen, my tactless little brother casually says over his bowl of cereal, "Did you hear that John died?" John was my very best friend for my entire life, since we were very young children. We did everything together. Telling me so casually, out of the blue, after I just woke up, was exactly the wrong way of communicating this with me. I was in denial and disbelief for a very long time and it was, and sometimes still is, a very hard grieving process. My brother was only 13 at the time, so it's not really his fault, but I think the way I found out, as opposed to my dad sitting me down to have a serious conversation, absolutely played a role in how challenging it was, in my opinion. John died after falling off of his skateboard and onto his head while skating down a steep hill. Please always wear a helmet. I once got an invite on Facebook to the funeral of a friend while I was not aware of his death at all. Sat there staring at my screen for a good 20 minutes in disbelief. I saw all these Facebook posts saying RIP on a friend's page as I was just starting to process what was going on and reading the post by his mother on what had happened. My mom comes into my room and says, "Did you know so and so died? It's on the news." And then she just walked away. He had died in Afghanistan. Semper Fi, my man. I woke up to find that my arm didn't work anymore. Apparently I slept at a weird angle and cut off flow to the nerves. I picked up the arm with my other hand and threw it against the wall. Didn't feel anything. Fortunately that only lasted a minute or two before the pins and needles settled back in. Had the same thing happen to me. Never falling asleep with my hand behind my head again, lol. I literally can't fall asleep without my right hand positioned behind my head. Weird habit I picked up, but almost each guy in my family along my dad's side has done that so far. A note from my ex explaining that he had to go home to change BC. He wet the bed that we were sleeping in together, but he didn't want to wake me. That's an honest man right there. I believe there was a tifu just like this, except the guy didn't tell the girl what he did at all. He just left when he woke up and realized what he did. He also immediately blocked her from Tinder and her number, so you can imagine the big WTF she had when she woke up. My roommate in college snuck in an old dude she met on the internet. I woke up to him looking at me from her bed. Nah, that's her dad. She met her dad on the internet. One time I woke up at 1 AM to loud repeated knocking on my front door downstairs. I woke up my wife and told her to call the police and retrieved my shotgun. It was Papa John's trying to deliver a pizza to my sister. who had stayed with us on a previous weekend and ordered pizza to our place then, and I guess hadn't updated the address and ordered again. It was a weird night. This is Papa John's Open Up. Here comes Papa Johnny. I had a girlfriend who had a little studio apartment in a multi-unit building. The bed was basically 5 or 6 feet to the right of the apartment door. One night I woke up half drunk and there was a dude standing next to the bed looking down at me. The door was ajar. I got up and kind of went rah, and he freaked and ran out the door and I closed it and locked it. I never found out what the deal was with that. Similar thing happened to me, except he was naked and needed me to explain the situation to him. I was a 15-year-old girl. My freshman year at university, my roomie, Johnny, was out for the night and I fell asleep on the couch in the dorm. Around 3 someone loudly opened the door and came and sat on top of me. At the time I thought roommate ended up coming back home and kicked him off of me with a friendly fuck off, Johnny, before immediately falling back asleep. About an hour and a half later I woke up to someone in my room screaming where the fuck am I? After the initial confusion, I learned the dude that had sat on me was not my roommate, but the very intoxicated brother of someone who lived on my floor. Coincidentally his name was also Johnny, which led him to believe he was in the right place before he passed out on my floor. I helped him get his bearings, got him some water, and basically carried him back to his brother's room. Mayo, this is just wholesome. I was sleeping in a tent in Kuwait when a Patriot missile shot off over our heads. It was very loud, very close, and at the time, I had no idea if it was incoming or outgoing. I jumped on the ground, dirt, and then ran for the bunker. Scary stuff. I have a similar story. I was halfway through my first tour in Iraq and had been reassigned to a fob outside Samarra. I had just finished moving my bags into my new chew when a huge explosion went off right outside the door. I grabbed my body armor and dove to the floor, frantically trying to put it on and crawl under my bunk. I look up and my roommate is still sitting on his bunk laughing his ass off. Dude, that's outgoing. Nobody bothered to tell me my room was about 75 feet from our Paladin battery. For confused non-military people. FOB, Forward Operating Base. CHU, Containerized Housing Unit. My wife, dead beside me in bed, died in her sleep of an undiagnosed heart condition. This is literally my worst nightmare. I'm sorry for your loss. Damn dude, my condolences. Stuff of nightmares. Hope you're doing okay. Cold shit on my pillow. How do I know it was cold? My shit temperature gauge in my face. My dog was angry I was gone for a week and this is how she told me. My shit temperature gauge in my face. I laughed out loud in my lecture. People are staring. The sounds of our cat trying to throw up, the wife pushing it off the bed towards me, and then the cat clawing my face and lip as it was trying to get away from my wife. I cried a little. Me realizing I shit myself while sleeping. Alternatively, blood. And when it dries it's brown and people think you shit the bed. My brother's banging pots and pans in my room while yelling the British are coming. The British are coming. I got slapped in the face with a piece of cheddar cheese that was covered in dish soap. That's an odd combination. I had a friend who lived next door when I was a kid. I woke up one morning, like 7 or 8 AM, to a lot of shouting and approaching sirens, and looked outside my bedroom window to see her house engulfed in flames. She and her dad and her younger brother were in the desert that weekend, and I could see her mom in their backyard with the baby brother, so we knew everyone was okay. But it was surreal watching my friend's house burn. I once woke up with a puddle of old vomit next to me. I was in my bed and I guess I either didn't wake up or just fell back asleep immediately and didn't care. I still don't remember actually throwing up. It was really gross. Note, this wasn't alcohol related, I had a stomach flu. I was living in Northern Virginia and was invited to a New Year's Eve party, so I bought 2 bottles of champagne to take with me, but it started snowing and I didn't think I should go out, so I stayed home, watching TV and eating popcorn and drinking champagne. Both bottles. I woke up next morning on the bathroom floor with a black eye. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video please leave a like down below and we'll see you in the next one.